Just addressing somebody's comment real quick. No, I haven't made any videos about the Second Amendment lately. I mean, I post that stuff on my community tab now. If I got something to say about the Second Amendment, and you see what's going on in China. I see Biden. He wants to pass gun control. Right now, shit doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell because of the Republicans control the House, right? But they're going to run around. It's like the Democrats they represent women and mothers, and the reality is that women and mothers are never going to be in the fight, so they treat guns like how a school teacher treats, a group of children, and let's say one children is abusing toys, ban all the toys. Like, that's just how women operate. I think it's a waste of time to sit there and argue with women. Yes, it's annoying. They'll sit there in one breath talk about how unprotected they are, and women are the victims of rape or sexual assault and everything. And I'm like, go defend yourself. Like, you can buy a gun. Why is it everything else as it pertains to, women's empowerment? I want to make as much money as a man. We want to go out here and be a boss bitch, all this other stuff. I'm going to surpass men, blow men out the water financially. We're more educated, But then the minute you say, okay, go get a gun and defend yourself, since you're worrying about this marauding band of rapists, you know what I'm saying? Like, then I'm like, you can go down and get your license, get everything to actually physically empower yourself, and women just won't do it. So like the recognition is like, that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with women. Okay, in one breath, they can do it all, they can do anything a man can do, and then when you actually present them, something that's attached to violence or attached to bloodshed or attached to defending yourself, because there's no real way to defend yourself against somebody who intends to do you harm without shedding their blood. But women always want to orient themselves as the nurturers, and they're these ethereal earth mothers that levitate above us all, so they want to be that. So that's what you're always going to deal with when you're dealing with women. And as I've said before, there's not enough of patriarchy in the black community, so especially black women are going to view it the way that they view it. They just see young black men out here in the streets blasting each other. They don't see, black men, defending and protecting, their, non-existent patriarchal families. And even when a black man is there and he's present and he's protecting his family, that'll never be the story. You know what I mean? You never hear those stories about how, somebody tried to, they busted into a house. They always show the house. They never show the person that actually shot the perpetrator that busted in the house. But you always hear stories like that. There was a home invasion. They show you the outside of the house, and they're just like, someone in the house shot the intruder. You know what I mean? But they never show you who it is. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can even be a child, but they tend to not show you who the victim was of, the intrusion, and how that person, handled the situation. It's just the way that the shit is painted in the media. It's the way that it is. It's kind of messed up, but that's just how it is. But even looking at what was I saying, talking about Biden and stuff, looking at abroad, looking at China, all that shit where they gotta hold up the white papers. It's a totalitarian dictatorship. China, it's a communist, society. Like, they're not able to voice their. That's why them people originally left and went to Taiwan. That's why Taiwan is a thing, right? Because Mao Zedong took over and did what was the shit called? The long walk, the great journey, the great march, whatever the hell this shit was, where he just walked around, killed all the people that were on opioids, right? Which goes back to the British forcing opioids on the Chinese that they were importing from India, right? I made a video about that. So if people don't get it, if people don't see the abuses, you got shit going on in Honduras, you got the freaking the cartels and the gangs and shit like that. They're extorting the government and stuff. And that's why you see all them people trying to run to America and cross the border and shit. You know what I mean? Like, they're really screwed up, right? You're either going to be a part of the gang or you're going to be a part of the government. But if you're just a regular person in the middle, like, you really don't have any way to protect yourself. You can't protect yourself from the gangs, right? Because gangs have illegal guns. You have nothing because there's no gun stores for you to go pick anything up, right? The government, that swears that it's somehow the divine authority, they're too weak to protect you. They can't do anything about it. Even in America, again, the Supreme Court has reinforced multiple times that, even though it says, protect and serve on the side of police cars, that's nothing more than a slogan. They don't have to protect you. You can't hold them accountable for not protecting you. They have no duty to protect you. And a lot of people don't know that. If you call 911 and the police don't show up, you can't sue the police and say, well, they didn't show up and they didn't protect me, and as a result of them not showing up, this person died or that person was killed. Like, no, you can't. You have no ability to do that. You are your own first responder. I don't know what people get about that. Now, as it pertains to mass shootings, I'm just gonna say, like, it needs to be said. It comes with the territory. You know what I mean? Because there's all these type of other social issues that this society doesn't want to address. You're going to see that. You're going to see somebody who's going to be mad and they want to take it out and lash out and take out on the world, and people are going to demand this and demand that. Personally, like I said, they need to fortify the schools. We live in an armed society. It comes with the territory. You're not going to live unless you want to live in China, and you want to have where they got the face recognition and they got the social score and all this other bullshit. You're not going to live in a free society and not have people have the freedom to do fucked up shit. You know what I mean? You can try to, mitigate that all you want, but you're not going to have a free society that empowers the people. At the same time, it tries to protect the people from themselves. Protecting the people from themselves is just an excuse for the government to say, give us all the power, we'll protect you. You know what I mean? And for, like, especially when it pertains to black people who run around and talk about white supremacy all damn day and how fucked up white supremacy is and how much they don't trust white folks. The whole notion that they're going to trust white zaddy government to their protection is the most dumbest, asinine, suicidal thing that I can freaking think of. Like, it just makes no goddamn sense. What black people do. I asked. I was running around YouTube looking for videos on the Jewish community and the Second Amendment, because they make no sense to me. I'm like, so let me get this right. You had a group of people that tried to eradicate you off of the face of the earth, and every time I turn on the news, I see nothing up there but a bunch of Jewish people, talking about how we need more gun control, right? I see Michael Bloomberg throwing money all over the place because, we need more gun control. I'm like, didn't a group of people try to eradicate you? I'm like, Jewish people, in my opinion, just like African Americans, should be the most gun-toting, Second Amendment advocating people in the world. But somehow we're not. And I'm saying Jewish people don't even have the inner city violence and inner city crime and shit like that goes on in the black community, in their community. Everybody's running around. They want to roast, get on Kanye, and Kanye made some new recent statements. I'm like, nigga, shut up. Just shut up. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm saying, they want to go up there and say, oh, there's so much anti-Semitism. Same thing black people do. Oh, there's so much white supremacy. Okay, so why aren't you taking it upon yourself to protect yourself? I don't get it. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, these are like the people that think that, like, somehow, like, you're going to give them a severe tongue lashing. Like, come on. At the end of the day, if people want to do harm to you, you gotta take preventative measures. That's all there is. They got to at least know that, if they did try some shit, it's going to cost them. Again, it ain't no fun when the rabbit has the gun. So, it's like, again, fuck around and find out. That's my attitude. Oh, we're going to get rid of these niggas. Okay, fuck around and find out. I don't understand black people or Jewish people thinking if you want to say that you're so victimized and targeted and everything else, and they're out to get you. Okay, yeah. I got something for the boogeyman. So that's just my attitude on it. And that's mainly talking to the men, because the men are the ones that are expected to, respond and react and protect their families and their wives and their children and all that other shit. I expect women to talk the shit that they talk, even though, we already know it doesn't make any sense. It's like women running around, oh, men are potential rapists. Okay. All right. So here's a gun. Go, protect yourself. Oh, I don't want a gun. Why not? You know what I mean? If there were laws that said only men can have guns, women would be the first ones in line. The feminists would be the first ones in line to say that that's sexist, and they demand that women have equal access to guns as men do because of evil patriarchy or some shit like that. But here we live in a society where, women could easily walk into a gun store and get all the firepower they want and won't do it. Even Captain Solo's freaking, mother. You know what I mean? The man that shot her, he actually moved back in the neighborhood and was literally like 5 blocks away. And Cap has said numerous times his mother could have went down to the police station and got everything up to an Abrams tank, and they would have given it to her. And yet, even though this man that shot her 5 times was only 5 blocks away after he got released from prison, she still wouldn't go out there and get the protection to protect herself, just in case that motherfucker came around talking about, and let me finish the job. You know what I mean? She still didn't do it. So, there's just people out here, that's just how they are. They're just on some like delusional non-violence, the sweet twinkle of Christ in my eye will overcome. They're on that bullshit. I don't operate like that. And those of us who don't operate like on that, we gonna have ours. And it's just that simple. We don't have to trying to convince everybody else. But the main reason we got to come up and speak out against it is because, all these idiots, like people think they're being rational or they're being civil and saying that it's going to be a more civil society if we disarm all the good people. And I'm like, huh? Like, do you understand the slaughter that's going to come after that? Like, they don't get that. They're like, yeah, it sounds reasonable. Joe Biden said, it's just sad in this country that we sell semi-automatic weapons. Notice the conflation. We went from assault weapons bans, fully automatic machine guns, which are essentially already banned or heavily restricted, to now we're talking about semi-automatic firearms, which is pretty much everything else. And people don't catch that. I'm telling you, the goal is to whittle you down to nothing. Then they get to come in and implement, all the government control. And it's so funny. The same people that will be like, I don't think anybody should have assault weapons or semi-automatic guns or whatever. These will be the same people that I'm like, hey, did you get the vaccine? Oh, no, man, I didn't get the vaccine. Why not? Man, I don't trust the government, man. The government be trying to do this, that, and the third and whatnot, and put stuff in our bodies, and they're trying to put RFID chips in us, and they're trying to mind control us and everything else. I'm like, but you don't support the Second Amendment? Huh? Help me to understand. Like, explain this to me. You didn't get the vaccine because of conspiracy theory, but yet when it comes to the Second Amendment, you're like, oh, you see, the only people who should have guns are the police and the government. Huh? People don't, like I said, man, a lot of people don't have the capacity to critically think. They're not philosophically consistent. This is the world that we live in, unfortunately. So anyway, that's all I got to say. There's my update on the Second Amendment. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.